There are people out there that are purposely looking to take us out. So today I'm going to tell you who this is, why they require you to fail, and the one powerful thing they use against people to take us out. What's up, Force? You know we have to do things different here, right? So today I want to talk to you about something that's getting kind of close on my radar. And it's because of this uptrend we've been seeing right here. We've got some GPU profits coming back. People are starting to talk about, oh, we might be going into a bull market in 2023. How high can it go? And whenever I see sentiment of masses go one direction, I start to get a little bit weary. The reason is sharks and whales need to go against us. And I want to show you how and why they need to do it. You see, one thing about us versus whales is that we're always looking for a 10x, a 20x, a 50x, a 100x, because we're trying to make a life change for ourselves. We're willing to be a little bit more risky, try to buy and time the lows, push the limits of where we can stay into the market before we sell so that we can make the biggest gains possible in our lives. But that's a huge set apart from what big sharks and whales need to do in this market. Their sheer size means they can use a 1x, a 2x to make millions of dollars. But there's one drawback to their size, that if we know their game that they have to play, it lets us know where they're going to be hiding and waiting. I want you to imagine a huge giant whale. They find schools of fish and shrimp all clustered together, moving in one direction, and then the whale just comes over and scoops them all up. That same tactic applies to crypto and other stock market situations. We got the Bitcoin chart on Coinbase showing weekly candles and volume for all this time. You'll notice these big spikes in here, and they all coincide with a big event. Let's come over right before COVID, when Bitcoin was around $10,000 and it dumped down to $4,000. Look at this huge volume spike right on the last week. And then notice there's almost an equally sized green candle right next to it. While everybody was super scared that Bitcoin might be dumping to new lows, who do you think was waiting underneath that, just filling their bags? You'll notice that the months later, as crypto price was creeping up, volume was dipping down like a bowl. And once masses of people got wind that crypto was about to break its new all-time high, volume shot up, price shot up, and who do you think was up there with their bags full waiting to sell into that? And as Bitcoin reached around $60,000, the narrative at this time was $100K, $250K, $1 million per Bitcoin, and yet somehow we couldn't get past 60 grand. The whales. They were selling into the FOMO, and they weren't just doing it because they wanted to. It gets to the point to where a whale's order is so huge, it is required that they have that much liquidity pumping into them to buy their bags at that price. Otherwise, you get to the point to like May 2021 where liquidity dries up and price just falls like a rock. Oh, the bull market's over. It's gonna be over now. While there was so much fear and doubt, who do you think was under here buying all that Bitcoin, accumulating Bitcoin for months right here? You'll notice as this next run-up comes, the bears were all in for this to be a dead cat bounce and that we were going to go lower. But people that are real market makers in the market, they know that they can make moves that'll be counter to what people really feel and believe is going to happen. So as the whales don't sell yet, price comes up and it comes up. As masses start saying, oh my gosh, we're gonna go to 100K, we're gonna go to 100K. Who do you think was at the top of that, selling their bag into that mass buying frenzy? The whales. They do this because they have to. They have such large orders to fill. Working with tens of millions of dollars means that they are required to do this. And so every time you see these big FOMO events or FUD events, that's where whales are feeding. When I start to hear people talk about, oh, we're going to have a bull market in 2023, and I start getting a little bit leery of the situation. Because we know during the FTX debacle and all during this accumulation zone here, the biggest sharks and the biggest whales filled their bags in the biggest way. When people are talking about, oh, we're going to have a bull market in 2023, it's very hard for people to go against their feeling and their emotions. We want there to be a bull market. We want GPU mining to be profitable again. While at the same time, the rates are still going higher, economy worsening over the next year, so liquidity is overall lower. And you can see over here how much resistance we have to break through to even get higher. I wouldn't dare try to tell people that I have the answers, and I don't want anybody to think that this is FUD. I believe in using all information for an advantage to make better moves. So I want you to keep in mind that sharks and whales always are trading against us. And the more you hear people talk about that the market's going to go one way, you can be sure that sharks and whales will be waiting there to play the market against us. Be good, be safe, and keep passionate.